Hello everyone, welcome to my Paige guide. My name is Keg, and I'm a new Paige main with over 1,000 hours in the game. Paige is one of the new characters just added in the new wave of heroes, and she's special. The only brand new support character. And I mean support hero. I swear to God, do not listen to the gun Paige propaganda. It's all a facade. And this comes from
Keg. That is the fire rate M1 holiday player of all time.
Now on the topic of guns, let's talk about Paige's book called Chapter's End. Her version of a gun shoots out the letter A, leaving a lorem ipsum trail. Chapter's End's bullets are the slowest in the game. This makes it hard and takes time getting used to, but it's manageable. You just have to predict. You must see into the future. Look at this moving target. If I aim straight at it, the bullets will never hit. But if I aim into the future, my bullets can connect. This is how even Paige can steal or capture souls. One of the many changes people did not like, me included, was the soul capture pause. When last hitting a minion, the souls are in a state I call voided. While voided, they are no longer capturable. And it takes 1 second before they turn blue and become capturable. This change I thought was bad, but it helps Paige be amazing in lane. Get the hang of predicting the distance from where you are and how long it'll take for your bolts to hit the soul. The skill truly turns the Paige in the landing phase. But mastering the skill is a must. Hitting your bullets is really important, not just in souls, but in damage, with the trade-off of having the highest damage in the game and having piercing bullets. Paige's bullets pierce through minions, boxes, souls, and even players. Onto Paige's fun parts, the abilities. First ability, Conjure Dragon, where she throws a book that conjures a dragon spewing out green flames, damaging anyone who walks into it. This flame stretches out for 4 meters and is around 7 meters wide. This is the bread and butter of your lane phase. It's the first ability I unlocked, but the last one I max. Now speaking about the ability points, I'd recommend getting the tier 1 immediately at the end of wave 1. This lower cooldown time is really important for your dragon uptime. But the next big power spike is your tier 3, increasing damage. But the other abilities are worth more. How do you use the dragon? It's a space scenario. It takes a super long time to activate, so you don't normally throw it at a person's feet, but you use it to deny space. I'd recommend using it like an Ivy Kudzu, having minions walking into your flames and killing them off fast, giving you good space and pressure on your opponents. But be careful, your flames can kill multiple minions at once, and your gun isn't good at capturing multiple souls, so either be close for the melee or have your teammate be ready. What makes the dragon super special is the fact that you can bounce the book off walls, changing its direction. This can only be done when the dragon is spawning, not in the middle of the fire breathing. I love this ability, but sadly, due to the issues of geometry and some intership code, you must be careful. Your dragon can get caught on doorways and small rocks, which will turn the entire dragon around. Also, some interesting facts is that there's a height limit. If your dragon is too high, it displays the fire texture on the ground, but it won't do damage, which is sad, but oh well. Maybe one day we can get this fixed. Paige's second ability, Defend and Fight, is an incredible shield made for your gun teammates, starting at 200 shield health and spirit scaling into the late game. This item is the best early shield in the game, and I would recommend you always switch into a lane with another amazing gun pressure like Ivy, Billy, Wraith, Infernus, Haze, Paradox, Mina, or Mirage. If you are in a lane with one of these characters, we need to be getting that tier 2 on that shield right after the tier 1 on Dragon. Both the tier 1 and tier 2 are insane power spikes in the lane. Plus 50 shield health and 25% extra fire rate are both really powerful. Remember, this item has a 5-second duration, which in reality isn't that long. So be careful and never be afraid to put it on yourself if you need to. You can use this as an offensive pressure, like when Billy goes in with a headbutt, I always slap the shield on so he will always win the trade. Or use it as an escape tool. I get the tier 3 shield into the early mid game. It's super strong, being able to put up 3 shields, and also a pro tip, in tight situations, always just apply the shield to yourself, because it will automatically apply to those in the area. You no longer need LOS, it's just based on the cast range. Onto the third ability, Captivating Rend. A giant sword comes out a stone, making an AoE 40% slowing effect, and slams right back into the ground, rooting anyone in a 7-meter radius for 1.25 seconds. This ability is probably the best ability in your toolbox for the mid-game, but it's super slow, and you must treat it the same way you treat your gun or dragon. You must predict where they'll go. It takes around 1.5 seconds to land, and if you're not playing against bots, people will just walk out of it, so you must think before you do. Look at this clip. I see a Wraith pushing me and my teammate, and I see her take cover in this corner. I know she's trapped, so I act quickly to cover the entire corner and turn around our tiny skirmish. This ability is great, but it's not an opener, it's a mid-fight ability. That's the difference from Vindictus Stake. Then Stake is an opener while Paige Sword isn't. You should cut off space with dragons, flushing them into a new direction and making them walk into your sword. If you decide in lane you'd rather have this instead of shield, use the same logic. Usually I use it to apply even more pressure to people hiding around the center walls. Its damage is very good, and I sometimes get it when I'm laned with a Vin or a doorman, but it's up to your choice. Speaking of ability points, I usually get tier 2 after I tier 2 the shield, and then max it after I get tier 3 shield. The tier 3 power spike of 13% spirit resist shred is super powerful and something that will destroy the new tanks and anyone to the late game. Now onto the ultimate ability, Rallying Charge, launching 5 horsemen down the road, healing and stunning teammates along the way. This ability is super special because it's one of the only cross-map ultimates in the entire game, but it has a vertical range. Be careful if you use it on top of buildings or on the floor, it won't hit those on other floors. What's even worse is that if people have enough reaction time, they can just hop it. At base level, you heal your teammates for 150 HP with spirit scaling and stunning your opponents for 1 second. At the tier 1, you heal an extra 150 HP, and tier 2, you get 4 more steeds, and at the final level, you get more damage and an additional 0.5 second stun. This 0.5 second stun may not seem like a lot, but it's the difference between your opponent jumping midair and having to land on the floor. This ult is super important and can lead to insane turnovers and teammate saves. And don't be shy to use this to save your teammate, because if you're close enough to do so, this will also save yourself. And 2 lives is the difference between the enemy getting mid-boss or just a bit of space. Hey guys, Komi here. Just really quick before we get into the build, discussion area, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. This video took a while. Sadly, I've been dealing with some real life stuff, but I'm really proud of how it turned out, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. And if you did, don't forget to comment, leave a like, ask questions down below if you have any, and I hope you guys have a great time with Komi Live. Hello everybody, this is the talking section of the build that I want to give you. This is my personal build. It's called Fighting the Patron, written by Komi, because it was written by me. Ignore all the text, it's just a little bit on how to play the game a little bit, but I kind of wanted to walk you through kind of all the stuff that I build and how I do it, and when I buy things like my power spike sections and all that stuff. In the chapter 1, the laning stage, of course, as I said earlier in the video, I start with my dragon first. This dragon is super helpful in the lane, and it's something that's really strong for denying space and killing minions, and I think just getting that extra charge is just really important, especially even into the mid to late game. Having 2 different Conjure dragons can be super helpful when defending walkers or even pushing walkers. The fire damage is pretty solid on walkers, and it's just something that's super strong. I'd always recommend it, and it's just a powerful item. Intention's Emblem is just a busted item. It gives you cooldown reduction and extra health regen. Sometimes I do skip it in case the lane is going kind of poorly. I buy enchanters in the 3rd wave when I'm winning, but I would either buy Guardian Ward. You either get to pick between the 2. Usually I get Guardian Ward if I'm losing or if we're playing super aggressive. Or I get Enchanter's Emblem when I'm winning and I just want to be a different type of offensive. It depends really on how, your type of offensive works. If you have a teammate that goes in there, like Billy, even a Dash and Furnace, a Moan, Crow, Guardian Horde. If you're playing, farther back with, a Wraith or a Haze, you can do Enchanter's Emblem. Extra Stamina and Sprint Boots is a decision that you get to make. Extra Stamina is usually better, just, for survivability in general, but sometimes I get Sprint Boots because I want the 2 out of combat regen. That's a huge thing in this build, is the out-of-combat region, which is why I don't buy Fortitude into the late game. The difference between it is just Dash is just better against, Warden, Infernus, Muna, or Bebop when you really need to, get in those, tight situations. But if you're losing and they're not very oppressive, let's say it's, a Wraith and Haste that are both, box running, or maybe they're just playing back, you're against another Ivy, and they're not doing that much damage, grab it. That turns your 2 regen to, let's see, 6, there we go. I was gonna say, I was definitely not 1 or 6. But already by this section, having 6 health regen is really important and powerful. And then, but the thing to always remember is that you don't buy both. Don't buy both, because as I say here, you always want to help your teammates before 5 minutes. You should, by the time you hit 3200, you usually just have enough time to go buy a Guardian Ward right before the 5-minute mark. Usually you should get 1,000 souls per minute. That's what I would always recommend. That's usually how my games go. So you can either get a Guardian Ward, I would always recommend Guardian Ward. Literally you have to buy this item. It's an always must buy. So make sure that if you're going to buy Sprint Boots, or if you're going to buy extra stamina, buy it and then get Guardian Ward. Don't get both, or you'll be behind and you'll get Guardian Ward around 6 minutes, which usually I just wouldn't recommend, because this is when bridge buffs come up, and if your teammate gets the bridge buff, you can super mega push and just take down the tower within like 6 minutes. Super strong. If you need to, go ahead and buy healing right. It's also just a strong thing. Sprint boots is also super useful for box running. Arcane Surge. Arcane Surge is what allows us to push things like further back, like Mist Expansion and Improved Spirit. It's also the reason I don't buy Duration Extender, is because of Arcane Surge buffing up a lot of our abilities here. And the main thing that usually that's super good about Arcane Surge is just the ability range. Like on our rend there in the middle, 33 meters to 7.7 to 8.6, and giving us a 0.2 seconds of immobilized duration. Right now it seems like a lot, but even if you get duration extenders, it goes from 1.25 to 1.53. So it's just this sort of 800 is basically the same amount of value as duration extender, but it gives you so much more due to the fact that you just get everything buffed in general. I prefer it more. But if you don't like Arcane Surge and you would rather get something like Stamina Mastery, go ahead and get Duration Extender. Next thing I buy is Compress Cooldown. Compress Cooldown is an amazing ability for Defend and Fight, and the reason for that is it perfectly times your Defend and Fight with your Guardian Ward. Remember, when you cast Guardian Ward on other people, like your teammates, it's on a 20-second cooldown. This allows you to be in an exact amount of cooldown with your Defend and Fight. And I just think that's super useful. Having both of your shields up at once is usually how you want to play the character, because you're supposed to do... the shields are supposed to defend against burst damage, like Bebop Bomb, Flash Slam, that sort of stuff. And just having these both be able to be stacked on each other at once is super strong and super powerful. Moving on, this is where I get Trophy Collector. I won't lie, it's a little bit late for Trophy Collector, and sometimes I do struggle getting to that section, but I would always recommend it. Trophy Collector got buffed recently. Now it gets 4 out of combat region. That puts us at 8. 8's a pretty solid number, especially for out of combat region. And it gets even higher, I believe, when you level up. I feel like I've seen my health region go higher than this. Maybe I'm wrong. That's my apologies. But yeah. 8 out of combat regen is actually a lot of health, and this allows you to even, like, you can farm minions, you can get boxes, you can even fight denizens without your out of combat regen going away. Again, just the sprint speed, the bonus health is also super useful. Ability range I love, and I also love Souls for Minute because you're not really a farmer character. You should be giving that up to your teammates like Infernus's, Haze, those sort of hard carry people. Mystic Expansion. Amazing ability. Always put it on the 3. Just huge. Improved Spirit. I used to run Duration Extender here. But with diminishing returns already on Arcane Surge, it's not really that much worth it. And I prefer Improved Spirit because this does a lot of wave damage. The difference between getting Improved Spirit and not having Improved Spirit is the ability that your Conjure Dragon will kill an entire wave by itself a lot of the time if you, like, space it out correctly. And that's super important, especially when defending a walker. If you are defending a walker and it's a 2-on-1 and you're alone, try and destroy the wave. Use your Captivating Rend and then trap them. Use your Conjure Dragon. They won't be able to push because they'll have resistances. And then try to get one of your teammates to run lever. Usually by here is when I'd recommend getting, I usually like 1 or maybe 2 items if you're really feeling up to that. But don't forget to always go down to Superior Cooldown and Transcendent. These are your 2 abilities that you must have. Not abilities, items. Your character lives by cooldowns. Like, that's your job, is to keep other people alive with your cooldowns. And it's always something that I would recommend is always, usually I get superior cooldown before I get one of these items. But usually before I get Transcendent, I always recommend that you get one of these. All of these items are super useful in their own right, and it's completely up to you on what you want. I usually attach a Rescue Beam. You can even get Divine Barrier if you're versus like a bunch of debuffs, like Pocket, Infernus, Bebop, all that stuff. You can go like something with Debuff Remover if you need to do it on yourself. If they have like that many debuffs, you can get a counter spell. You can get a Heroic Aura. Heroic Aura is an amazing item when you need to defend against bullet and protect your teammates and even give them more fire rate. You can get a knockdown, you can get slowing hacks, you can get a suppressor or a silence wave. I'd always recommend getting 1, maybe 2 before. But remember, a lot of your items, especially that are actives, are going to be held back until you get Transcendent cooldown, and Transcendent cooldown becomes better the more actives you have. So once you get Transcendent, usually I don't buy these. I would go back up to here, get another one. Get Warpstone I need to survive. That cooldown got switched from 16 seconds to 11.2. Vortex Web, 42 seconds to 29. Divine Barrier, 28 seconds. And remember, that's again cut in half. Oh, wait, hold up. Cut in half. So now it's a 14-second cooldown instead of a 20-second cooldown. And that's just an incredible thing. And then afterwards, even if you're still struggle for flex slots, something that I wish I try to pay attention to, especially when building, is the first 2 flex slots are the easiest. It's 1 Guardian, 1 Walker, and then you have to take down 3 Walkers and 2 Base Guardians. Usually these last 2 are where you get stuck on flex slots. And so what I would always recommend in builds is that have upgradability in case your team gets stuck here. And that's something that I made sure to do here, is that if you have 3 actives here, you can always get Greater Expansion, you can get Boundless, you can get Rapid Recharge, and then you should at least have another flex slot or both. That's always what I would recommend. Then you can go back, get your Heroic Aura, get your Refresher into the late game, get another item, get Spirit Burn, I don't know. It's really up to you and your own decision. I don't normally struggle with a lot of different flex slots with this build, but just in case you really do struggle, you should have upgradability into the late game with Boundless, Greater Expansion, and Rapid Recharge. Just to kind of express how flexible this is, a lot of the time recently, actually, I haven't even been buying Mystic Expansion or Improved Spirit. That sounds kind of weird, as I was talking about it earlier, but something that I buy a lot is Slowing Hex. And if you buy Slowing Hex, usually you don't need to get something with Mystic Expansion, stuff like that. If you have like a good roamer, a lot of big people have been running Veil Walker, like Beepop. You can have him by Veil Walker, follow him, or a Moan Creel by Veil Walker, follow him. Just a lot of your assassin type characters. Is you buy Slowing Hex, and then you can get Improved Spirit, and then upgrade into Vortex Web, and then buy Transcendent, because Vortex Web and Slowing Hex are going to be your main kill options. And as long as you have a teammate there, like if you're roaming with someone, you shouldn't really need Mystic Expansion or sometimes don't even need Improved Spirit, because they'll be doing most of the damage, and they'll be your setup characters with Vortex Web and Slowing Hex. If you have Slowing Hex or Vortex Web, most of the times you should never be missing a Captivating Rend, which should be a free kill if you're with someone. If it's not a free kill, you're probably either roaming with the wrong person, or both of y'all need to be farming. These are all testing items. I update this frequently, and every single item is annotated. And I would really love for you guys to try out the build. Here is the build ID, 324067. Link's also down in description, or it's not link. You can Command-C it, Command-V it into the thing. Or if you just look up Comey, for all of my stuff, it's always here. I don't know why this one's here. Can I delete it? I don't know. Whatever. Thank you guys so much. Use build 12. Version 12 is the newer one. Always use the newer ones. But I'll try to make sure to keep this always updated and super annotated for what you guys want. Thank you guys so much for watching. It really means the world to me. This was the longest video I've ever made, and I'm really proud of it, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Don't forget to come check out my Twitch, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Bye-bye!